Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I'm your host, the Housecoat Gamer, and today we are taking a look at the Oberth-Class, the first available science ship in STO, at least until Cryptic decided that we needed to pay dilithium for these things instead of Zen, making them character-bound ships only. Frankly, I believe this was a mistake, but seeing as I have the ship already, I guess that's a bit of a moot point. This has never been a lucky design. At all. Ever. In fact, if it wouldn't get me copyright struck, I'd show a clip of the USS Grissiom, this very ship, getting torpedoed by a Oberth-Class well, not a battlecruiser, bird of prey. And exploding. This thing has never been good with combat, but Starfleet's forced it into it, mostly due to lack of choice, in at least 3 separate engagements, including Genesis. The other 2, of course, being Wolf 359 with the USS Bonchel, which died, unsurprisingly, and Wolf 359 with an unidentified starship of the Oberth-Class, seen during the Defiance strafing run, which most likely did not survive the battle, because it's an Oberth. The playthings are unlucky. And old. You thought the Miranda was old. Look at the registry code. 638. This thing is ancient. It has to date back to at least the 2220s, or earlier. The only reason these things were kept in service is because they're so good at their job. They are science vessels, which in STO means space wizards. This is arguably the worst science vessel in the game, which is understandable. This is a Tier 1 variant. Whoops, went a little too far there. There we go. Nowadays, it's finally up to snuff. There is, of course, one slight problem with this. The Oberth was once the victim of a joke. What is the joke, you might ask? That was never going to get a Tier 6 counterpart, and for a long time it wasn't going to get a proper reskin. That it was going to languish at Tier 1 forever, looking like garbage. Because the original version of the ship only had a passing look, a passing resemblance to the Oberth. Now, it actually looks like the Oberth-Class in both configurations. When you have something that works, you don't throw it away. Starfleet's mindset. If it works, you don't get rid of it. You keep it around. The Borg, on the other hand, changed all that, and soon enough, the Oberth needed to be replaced. We'll be looking at that replacement sometime this week. STO's reskin of the design is the Grissiom. I am not a fan of this design. But then again, the only thing I am happy about is that the Grissiom, or rather the Oberth in general, finally got a proper reskin. Now it actually looks like the ship it's supposed to be. Understandable. In the old days it was, well, technical limitations. Nations and standards. So it doesn't look right. They had to put it out quickly. Who was going to notice? Or really care? That changed rather recently. And fortunately, we have a new Oberth-Class. And a Tier 6 Fleet Oberth. For the first time in ever. There is no Tier 5 Fleet Oberth or a Tier 5 Retrofit Oberth. It's Tier 1 and Tier 6. Not exactly impressive, is it? But it could be worse. The ship is not meant for DPS work. It is a science boat. So, buffing, debuffing, healing, all those fun things. And I know a lot of people are going to be screaming at me, science ships can do that. They can be DPS monsters in their own unique way. I've never seen them do that. I've never been able to get that to happen, so yes, this is an opinion, but it is a well-informed opinion. Because I've never been able to get this thing into a DPS monster. So, stick to what works. And what works is bullets. Lots of bullets. Would I recommend you get it? For the Starship trait. Extend anomaly durations by 2 seconds. Sometimes those 2 seconds make all the difference in the world. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.